Hello and welcome to episode 2 of the Your Golf podcast. I'm your regular host, Tom Irwin, and I am joined as ever by my co-host and regular special guest, Jack Backhouse. You all right?
Morning, Tom. How are you?
Twice in a week.
This is a lot, isn't it?
The strange thing I was thinking is that normally on podcasts, or what is on vogue on podcasts, is to say, we had this bit of feedback from our last podcast. But actually, we haven't had any feedback on our last podcast. It's only been out for about 5 minutes.
I've spoken to someone on the phone who watched the podcast.
Oh, did they have any feedback?
Said it was good.
Right.
Sort of interesting.
It's not really enough to base like a conversation around, though, is it?
100% of positive feedback. 100% of feedback has been positive, so that's good news.
What else have you been doing since last we spoke?
Teaching. I was going to play on Sunday, but it hammered it down with rain, so didn't bother with that.
It's been a bit rainy, hasn't it?
It's rained every day. It's getting a bit sad. It's like the courses are now wet. The courses in Harrogate are now like fairway mats, winter mat tees, and all very boggy.
It's a bit parklandy up there, isn't it? Very
parklandy, so they're definitely suffering. A lot of muddy shoes walking into the studio, which I don't like.
I've had quite a good week of golf, actually. I genuinely found your thing about things you can do this winter to improve your golf quite inspirational.
Did you go and specifically work on your driving, your short iron wedge play?
I got Joseph's putter out of the car so he could work on his speed control on the mat in his bedroom.
Love that.
When I went to the range, I hit golf shots at different distances.
Perfect.
I've been to the gym 3 times.
Wow.
What else was it? I don't curve my driver at all.
You hit it so pan flat.
So I didn't do any of that. I don't anymore. It goes too high at the moment.
Really?
Really high, yeah.
Well, you were fit into a driver that was going to go higher.
It's launching.
Is it?
Long bombs.
I hope it continues.
So I had a lesson. I'm going for lessons at the moment with Joseph together.
Oh, really?
And this week he was on the TrackMan, so it was interesting to see his numbers. He's got some significant left path numbers going.
Yes, he does.
But he's in single digits, like -7 or something.
That's not too bad. The thing at that speed is like the ball doesn't curve that much, so it doesn't really. It's less important.
Yeah, and he's swinging it at about sort of 67. It's kind of his stock driver swing.
How far does that carry?
Well, he got one that carried 135.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's
ran out to about 170.
That's over all the carries at Alwoodley off the yellow tees. So that's good.
So that was good. And then we all went for a game at Ganton, can you believe that, on Sunday? But I've already done this on the other podcast, I best not repeat it too much.
What did he shoot?
We only played 11 holes.
Well, what did he shoot?
I can't remember. He had like a succession of bogeys and doubles like he always does. He got out of every single bunker first time. That was the best bit.
I was going to ask about the bunkers, yes.
He was like, they're big, aren't they, Dan? I was like, yeah, they are. And then he kept getting them out. It was brilliant.
Fair
anyway,
enough.
So life's good, to be fair. Plenty of golf and enjoying all these podcasts, many and varied podcasts.
You are a full-time podcaster.
And I'm quite up for this, to be honest with you, this week, because we're going to talk about... what are we going to talk about? I can't actually think of a very succinct name for it, but we're going to talk about what our dream second-hand bag is.
Yeah.
You're saying, well, what I was thinking was if someone came to me for a...
So what happens quite a lot in lessons is people turn up with old gear,
Yeah.
Relatively new players who want to upgrade. Now, people don't have enormous budgets, or not everyone has an enormous budget, and people generally don't want to pay for something that's brand new.
Yeah.
So they often will ask me, what clubs can I recommend that are at a discount but still would perform well?
Yeah.
So I've put together a bag of clubs that I would quite happily recommend to people that are pretty cheap, in my opinion, but still really good performers.
You're not supposed to say cheap, are you?
Cheap's the wrong word.
You're supposed to say great value.
Great, same difference.
Represent great second-hand value. Now, it might appear to listeners that this podcast is sponsored by Golf Clubs for Cash, but it's not sponsored by Golf Clubs for Cash. It's like a reverse ad break. They could be sponsored by Golf Clubs for Cash, but it isn't.
They
should be.
They sponsor the other one.
They do sponsor the other one, yeah.
We are currently unsponsored.
Yeah, and I did my cost of the products research on ChatGPT. I didn't actually go to individual sites.
What do you mean?
I just said to ChatGPT, how much do these things cost?
Oh, so you didn't go on the website?
No.
Oh, I went on the Golf Clubs for Cash website.
Okay.
And found the specific product.
That's very good of you. So anyway, that's what we're going to talk about. We're going to talk about if Jack and I were setting out to buy a second-hand set of golf clubs that was kind of our favourite clubs through history that we thought would still perform somewhere nearby to modern standards, what would we buy?
Yeah.
So it's going to be a bit of value, it's going to be a bit of performance, a bit of affection, a bit of nostalgia, something for everyone.
Yeah.
But before we get into that, we're going to talk about some new gear because we are kind of on the cusp, on the precipice of new gear season, aren't we?
It's a massive time of year certainly for me, because the brands are like sending me away to go and look at the new gear in various parts of the world.
They are sending you away, aren't they?
Send me away.
We're staring into the abyss of product launch season. And as Jack sort of alludes to, that means lots of overseas press trips to be told, educated. The cynics might say brainwashed as to the benefits of the new gear.
It certainly feels like brainwash. You never leave thinking, "Oh, that wasn't any good."
No, you
always leave going, "Wow, that is amazing." I can't believe they thought of that.
It is incredible how you sort of turn on going, "Oh yeah, it should just be the same as last year's bloody MOI, whatever," and then you think, "I'll definitely get one of them."
Yeah.
Oh, so much longer on the range.
Yeah, that is my experience thus far. Has been everything I've seen I want to play with. So there is a bit of brainwashing going on.
There is a lot of cynicism, isn't there, about new gear? But I do think it is fair to say that stuff is getting incrementally better.
Yes. Oh, 100%. I think that now, if you compare this year's to last year, I think you probably see a very small change. I think they feel different every year. Whether the numbers on the launch monitor are different every year, I think that's pretty marginal.
Yeah.
But what I do find is if I people don't buy new clubs every year, do they? Or certainly most people don't. So if I have something lying around the studio that I've been testing and then put it in the hands of someone who's not used anything new for like 5 years, they're generally blown away by how different and how well they perform.
100%. Also, I saw something on Instagram this morning. It was the guy from Tacoma saying, "Here's 5 golf myths." Have you seen that?
No.
Very sort of overly produced reel. And the second one he said was golf manufacturers saying that their equipment goes 10 yards further every year, because he said if that's the case, then over the last decade we'd all be hitting it 100 yards further. And I was thinking, well, they don't say that.
They definitely don't say that.
For a start. And also, it's also not far off. Like, we do hit it a lot further than we did 10 years ago. I certainly do.
Yeah. I think about when you go back to Seacroft.
Seacroft is
and
I don't know why you've picked that out as a place.
Well, somewhere where you grew up.
Yeah, I didn't. I grew up at Louth, but yeah.
Or you played Louth or whatever. This doesn't sound as good. Not as highly ranked.
Stop slagging Louth off. Like my salad days.
So certainly when I go back to Knaresborough and play, all the holes that I used to think were really long are now not.
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
And now I'm slightly different to what I was when I was good at 16, but I don't think I swing it especially quicker.
You are stacked now, aren't you, because of the gains?
I look exactly the same, sadly, much to my annoyance. Stick man. Still sticking. So I go play Knaresborough. It feels miles shorter than it ever did when I was a kid. And I think that's mainly down to equipment.
Yeah. Anyway, we've gone down, this is a sidetrack. It's a side lane. We thought we'd start with, before we get into the meat and potatoes of this podcast, a bit of a gear show and tell, which we definitely need a jingle for, by the way. Welcome to the show and tell. Gear and clothes and stuff as well. Right, is that in shot? I mean, it should be in shot. It's so thin. You should have this bag, look, Stickman. It's like en vogue. So I've sent this by an industry friend of mine, Mike Harris, who's working for an agency called The Loop. And he used to work for Golf Monthly. And he sent me this and just said, "Can you do some social on this, please?" So I was like, okay. So I started doing some social on this. And I thought, actually, I'll talk about it on the podcast. Look at it. Look how small it is.
It is very small.
But it's got so many pockets. Look, that's like standard put your glove in pocket.
It's
got a thing for your tea sack. Have you got a tea sack?
Well, I'll tell you, one of the problems with the cool woke pencil bags is the lack of storage.
But it's the lack of different pockets, isn't it? They've got one massive bag, haven't they?
Yeah.
So this one's got a little thing to put your phone in so you can film yourself.
I'll show you that. Look at that.
So it's like
perfect.
Good one for the voyeurs amongst you who like to put things on the gram. I put my valuables in that one.
Yeah.
And then I put my rangefinder in this little pouch.
Did you take that round Ganton?
I used it at Ganton,
Did you really?
You laughing at this handle, but this handle is very good, right? So you feel like a proper old boy because you don't actually put it on your bag. You just carry it in your hand like it's a sort of briefcase or something. So I'm actually quite the fan.
You're-
And I've got a half set in here. I've gone odd numbers for those of you who are interested. And I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 clubs in.
Perfect.
One slight problem is my putter grip
Too
is
big.
too fat for it, so it does take a bit of wrestling out. But other than that, it's pretty mint.
You're pro that.
Yeah. Do you know what? The other thing, whilst we're here, this is the set of clubs I reckon I've been most happy with in my entire life.
The TaylorMade.
Just the whole thing about it. I've got these P7CBs.
Yeah.
Look at them.
Definitely the best irons.
Best irons of all time.
Yeah.
I've got the current driver with a shaft that actually works,
Yeah.
which I'm absolutely delighted about. I've got the Zero Torque Spider head, which is mint. I've always loved these wedges, and these ones say Tiger Woods on, so what's to not like?
Yeah.
I just need to sort out a bit of top end gapping. I need a bit of loft in my
need a 5-wood.
fairway metal, yeah. So that was my little contribution to show and tell. The flushed golf bag, only about 80 quid.
Really? Yeah. 89.99.
Other colours do exist. They don't all come in camo.
Yeah.
What have you got?
The other benefit, I think, just to talk about, is again, if you're a pencil bagger in winter, you ruin your head covers because it's so wet and muddy. Like that thing.
It's got a stand.
It's got a stand.
Didn't you mention the stand?
You can use your very posh, probably very expensive head cover.
So it's actually not a pencil bag. It's actually a stand bag that's been on a
stand
Zempic, isn't it? Basically.
Yeah, Manjaro.
Yeah, it's like the Manjaro of pencil bags.
That is a good. I'm sure they put that on the website.
Yeah.
So I have two things for show and tell. The first is a Autoflex golf shaft, which I've recently reviewed on YouTube. So
it's worth saying that we met the people from Autoflex in Orlando, and we said, "Oh yeah, we'll review that." That was in January, and the video's just come out.
We've put a lot of thought and effort into it.
We move quick around here.
We endeavour to improve on that turnaround time going forwards. So the whole point of this shaft is it's super lightweight and super flexy, with the idea that it helps you swing faster. Now, my big concern with the shaft was how can something super light and super flexy be at all stable? You know, if you swing like a junior club, they're super whippy, but you don't necessarily hit those straight. I don't think is my experience. So I entered into the testing slightly pessimistic about did I even think it was going to work.
I think you enter into everything slightly pessimistic, though.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah,
right.
I sort of a bit of a.
It's not really a differentiating factor, is what I'm saying.
Okay, I was just letting people know. However, compared to the shaft I have in my LA golf driver, which is an LA shaft, I was 2 miles an hour faster with this thing. Which I think is not to be sniffed at, to be honest.
No.
Given how hard it is to gain speed.
Gains.
Yeah. So that was cool.
I thought the point of Autoflex was that it didn't matter how fast your swing speed was, it worked it out and then just like...
Yeah, it's something to do with the timing.
Right...
Now, all the technology in the shaft is very secretive.
Yeah, I saw that when I was doing my research. Yeah.
Career hidden technology, it's called. And you basically can't find anything about it. So all you can really do is talk about how it feels. And I actually really liked it. We've got 3 different shafts. This is the lightest and the whippiest, and they sort of like one is slightly less light, slightly less whippy, and the other one feels like a normal shaft, really.
Right.
All of them have this career hidden technology, whatever that means. But this one was the fastest. It was 2 miles an hour quicker than the others.
Have you played on a golf course with it?
No.
Right. So you need to do that, don't you, and then report back.
Yeah. Now, what I would tell you is it felt like really, really easy. So like I was getting the speed, not trying. You want to hit something harder when you're testing something because you're excited about it. Where I wasn't doing that, and it was the first shaft I tested, so I was arguably the coldest when I hit it.
How much does it weigh?
Don't know.
You need to do that as well. You need to weigh it.
I don't have a scales.
What in your whole life? Of course you do. You're always working out your gains.
I work out well. Yeah, it might not be heavy enough for my
true
weighing scales.
But anyway, it's really light and easy to use. It's also really expensive, isn't it?
Yeah, It's like $900 or something.
So and nobody knows why. So it's not an amazing show and tell, is it? It's here's something you can't afford and we don't know why it works.
But so yeah. Now, what I think this is for people who are mad keen on tech, want a bit of extra. And are not afraid to spend money to get gains. So I think it has a place in the market just for a small amount of people.
Niche.
It's niche.
Yeah.
The second thing is Odyssey's new putter. So this is the second low torque, zero torque putter they've done. You really like the square to square because you went and saw that last year, didn't you? In Spain.
I did, yeah. I'm into the whole zero torque revolution.
So this is their second sort of iteration of the square to square. This is the tri-hot.
Man new colours.
So, well, we'll get on to the colours. The biggest complaint about the zero torque, I think, is the shaft goes into the head too far back, which then makes the face look shut.
Yeah.
And people don't like the weird grips they have to have.
Most grips are offset. That one's not, I noticed.
Grips are offset, and the shafts are generally preset with lean.
Yeah.
Where what Odyssey have done, they've put a massive tungsten weight in, like as close to the face as possible, which has moved the CG forwards, which means they can put the shaft way closer to the leading edge.
Okay.
So it's nowhere near as offensive in how it looks, but it still has all the zero torque benefits.
Right. Why is it that sort of pear drop shape?
So this is the Rossi. There's three heads. There's the Jailbird and the number 7, the Fang. This is just the one I was given.
That'll be cheering you up as well, because you were grumpy about the square to squares because they weren't traditional Odyssey shapes.
Yeah, they were.
But they weren't. I've got that double wide thing. It's never been seen before.
Yeah, the double wide exists in other.
Oh, does it?
Not in normal torque profiles.
You were definitely cross about the head shape.
Yeah, I did. I wasn't a massive fan. I didn't think the heads were heavy enough.
Okay.
They felt too light. They didn't feel right. Where this thing is, it's all new. So the only complaint I've had when I've shown people this putter is the colour. We are in an area full of Leeds fans who will not use red.
You were trying to give it to Dan, is that what you're telling me?
No, I've tried to give it to a few different people and said, what do you think of this? And they go, oh, it looks really cool. Like the idea, but can't deal with the red.
Right. That's a good one.
So, yeah, actually, this is currently in the bag.
Yeah, yeah. I'm going to keep my Spider GT, but I like the look ZT, sorry, but I like the look of it.
Yeah. No, it's cool.
Right. That's enough show and tell.
Yep.
Okay, so we are going to do this dream second-hand bag.
Yep.
There's no budget, but at the end we're going to compare notes on who's got the cheapest bag.
Okay.
So how do you want to do it? Like, where do you want to start?
Well, we start with the main event. We start with driver.
Right, and we have sort of done this blind, haven't we? So I don't really know how you've gone about the task.
Correct.
So if this was like an Oxford entry exam, we've sort of been set the same question, but we've been given no kind of way of doing it.
Yeah, yeah.
So your workings are going to be as interesting as anything, really.
Yeah.
So we're going to start with driver.
Yep.
So I'll tell you what I've done.
Okay.
Is I've sort of thought, what drivers do I like?
Yeah.
Do they make any sense whatsoever in terms of like the wider world, as in like were they actually good, or did I just fluke one that was good for me?
Mm-hmm.
So I've sort of cross-referenced my own personal taste with the wider world just to check I'm not a weirdo.
Okay.
So we're not going to be like going down anything too niche on this podcast. And I've got options. I've like sort of got a short list.
Okay.
Then, like,
all right. You've got a wider list.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I don't know what you want to do. Do you want to go first?
No, I want to hear yours first. Let's go with you.
Okay.
You tell me what's number one.
I'm not going to tell you what's number one. I'm going to do my short list.
Okay.
Right, so I've got 3 drivers on my short list. No, I haven't. In fact, I've got 4 drivers on my short list.
Okay.
Which is the most, in fairness, of any category. So my first one is the Callaway Great Big Bertha.
The OG?
No. Well, kind of the OG. What do you mean by OG? You mean the original?
The original.
Original what?
Great Big Bertha.
You mean the one from like 2 years ago that was like called GBB or whatever it's called?
No, like the 1995.
95. Yes. I mean, that one, yeah.
Okay.
Callaway did bring it back, didn't they, in some sort of like attempt.
I think they've had a few different Great Big Berthas since then.
Cynical nostalgia. They did something called the GBB, which is what it was sort of affectionately known as in its first round in 1995.
Yeah, on this recent Callaway trip, there was a guy there who has been working the Callaway since that, and he had one, and someone like Ernie Els wanted to get fit into it, and they said, please can we have your driver so we can fit Ernie Els? And he said, no, because you'll never give me it back.
Right. So I picked this one because I think I was working in golf at the time. I was working in a driving range in Bradford, and it was just unbelievably exciting. I can kind of still remember the things arriving and like how amazing they were and how sort of otherworldly the whole thing was.
Yeah.
So sort of in the run up to the Great Big Bertha, there was the Big Bertha and there was the sort of steel head and there was the Warbird Soul Plate, and this is the sort of era you're in. So the Warbird Soul Plate was probably the first one on fairways where it's like helping turf interaction because it had that sort of slightly curved or triangulated sole.
Yeah.
And technology was like developing rapidly at this point. Like there would still have been kind of wooden headed clubs available, and Ping had some very low profile wooden headed fairways at the time.
Yeah.
And steel shafts were still very much on vogue on tour, particularly with faster swingers, and Tiger was using steel shaft all through this era. So I think it was like massive at the time. People think of it as being the first titanium driver. It wasn't actually. Mizuno had got some sort of really kind of niche. I think it was only available in the Far East, but basically the first sort of mass market titanium headed driver, which was a huge step forward in terms of like just the component itself, which enabled them to make these like really lightweight heads. And nowadays we think it's titanium heads has been awful, don't we? An old hat.
Yeah.
But at the time it was like, it was just huge, and having one almost felt like cheating. And I can remember playing with Dan at the time. He used to hit it a long way, and just thinking that sort of golf would change forever. I remember he hit it once over the stream on the 16th at Moortown, which was just like, what? How do you do that?
Oh, really?
Yeah, off some front tees, obviously. And it was just a huge step forward. And I think kind of I was probably at my peak in 1995 in terms of being a human being. So it's kind of a very nostalgic era for me. So that was my first choice.
Nice. That's cool, yeah. No, that sort of revolutionised what everyone else then started doing, wasn't it, with driver heads. And then, you know, where we've gone from there has been pretty mad, but that was the first one.
I bet you've never even seen one, have you?
Yeah.
That guy in Carlsbad?
No, but I've seen one, yeah.
Were you born in 1995?
That was the year I was born.
Right.
So that was, how does that make you feel?
Pretty weird, to be fair. So my other three are all sort of from the same era. So they're all between sort of 2014 and 2020 or 2019. And I think kind of when I was doing the research for this, I think that era might have been sort of almost peak driver.
Okay.
It was like, feels like there was a huge step forward in terms of people beginning to understand the technology. So things like titanium sort of being used effectively. It's the first time we sort of started to see AI faces a little bit sort of coming in, even though it's maybe not a marketing story at the time.
Yeah.
And there was some like really big gains, I think, in terms of distance and performance out of driver, where we were able to kind of get high launch and low spin. And at the time that, you know, this is when we were really into kind of like, I think the big distance debate, and when there was a big leap forward during that sort of 4, 5, 6 year window. So I've got three drivers all from that era. I've got TaylorMade M2, which is the sort of first one. Sorry, the middle one, which is the driver that McIlroy says that if he could go back in time and still use it, he would do.
Yeah.
I think he can't use it because it'd probably be illegal, right? Because the face might be too thin.
Yeah, like very possible, to be fair. The more you hit a driver, the thinner the face becomes, and it probably would become beyond the legal limit.
Yeah. But there's a lot of technology in that still exists now. So things like
carbon, that was one of the first carbon-headed drivers, wasn't it?
Inverted cone and speed pocket have like stood the test of time.
Yeah, still in there.
So I think that's kind of got to make a shortlist. Epic Flash Sub-Zero. So that's 2019, obviously Callaway. That's the first AI designed Callaway head, basically.
Yeah.
And I think that if you I remember talking to James Day, who's like a master club fitter from Urban Golf, who kind of really does know his gear. And he's like a very sort of traditional sort of bloke. He thinks that's the best driver ever made. He thinks drivers are never going to get any better than that.
Wow.
So I think there's an element of it where the heads were still sort of workable. There was still, you could still shape the ball. You could still kind of play with the driver, but they were unbelievably forgiving and unbelievably long. And I think now he feels like we've gone into sort of a compromise world where you just can hit one shot, basically.
Yeah.
So they're so forgiving that it's impossible to sort of shape the ball effectively. So I think that is interesting coming from him because he really does know about how to set a driver up. I was playing with Sam Cooper at Hoylake last summer, and he had one basically on James Day's recommendation.
Right.
And he did drive it well. And then my final one, I think probably the one I would choose is 2014, and it's a Titleist 915D
Okay.
And this is like entirely out of personal preference. That
Yeah. You had one of those.
I had one of those, exactly, and I drove it really well with it. I think that Titleist make beautiful looking clubs, don't they?
Yeah.
And that driver, I think, was a proper kind of. There are certain products that you associate with brands like forever. I'm probably going to talk about a lot of them today. And in my head, if someone asked me to draw a Titleist driver and I was good enough at drawing, I would draw that one because I just think it was a beautiful shape. The D stood for deep face, I think.
Yeah.
So it's quite a compact head, but always felt really
That was
forgiving.
like the player's driver, wasn't it?
Yeah, yeah. And you just sort of could just knuckle it, right? And it would just get out there. I think I've always felt like it was very low spin.
Yeah.
And at the time, I'd probably be swinging it pretty fast. So it was like performed better at higher swing speeds. And a lot of the sort of very good drivers of the ball at the time would have been using that driver. So people like Tiger, people like Davis Love, like just, quality.
Do you don't still have it?
No, I don't.
Fair enough.
So that's my shortlist, my justifications, and my winner.
That was amazing.
Thank you.
That was great detail. So I don't have that detail. So the driver I would choose as what I would consider newest technology but best value is the Ping G410 driver.
That's like basically current, isn't it?
No. It's under £200.
Right.
It has all the adjustability in like loft sleeve and movable weight on the back of the head. It came out at a time where Ping have always sort of stuck with high forgiveness, even when other brands went down the max ball speed. Like, do you remember when Taylor made the slider SLDR, which was like their whole thing was you should loft up loads.
Well, they had to introduce the loft up campaign after everyone realised you couldn't get off the ground.
You couldn't hit it. So TaylorMade stuck to the gun. Ping stuck to their guns the whole time, and we were just forever making like forgiving drivers. So the G410 was adjustable. You could make it flat, so it was like suitable for people like me who hit it left. And yeah, really good. Under £200, absolute bargain. I think I've sold like 6 of those this year.
Is that in the era before or after Ping sorted out the acoustics?
Before. So like it was the 425 where we were deep down a hole of sounding like a pan. So I think it went down and then has since come back.
Yeah. It's great. I didn't realise you were a Ping man. It's a good choice. Well, I guess what you're saying really, and it goes back to my thing about how we approach the task, is that if you're recommending a product to someone who's got limited budget for a driver and they're kind of an improver, you're not going to miss with a Ping from 5 years ago, are you?
Generally, I always think Ping are the place to start, depending on like how fast they are. I think if I think generally Ping heads can suit everybody, providing they've got the right shaft in. The adjustability is really good. The movable weight on the back, it was great to move your ball flight around. And like I just think Pings are so easy to hit.
Yeah.
You just can't go wrong with a Ping driver.
Yeah, whereas if I was making this recommendation, someone's going to come back in 3 weeks and go, what the hell have you recommended this for?
You give them a night. Yeah, exactly. Your driver's great for chipping it round all Woodley, isn't it? For your style of golf.
Right. Why would you do that? Why would you get that little dig in? Unbelievable. Pathetic.
People need to watch the vlogs, see how you play.
Right. What are you going to do now? Irons?
Yeah.
Okay.
You've probably got a big, long list of irons.
You go first then on irons then.
I think the best value irons you can buy are Titleist AP2s.
Right.
So
I can't say I'm overly familiar, to be honest.
Really?
No.
You not have a set of AP2s? So the AP2s are like essentially like the equivalent of the T100s.
If this looks like a blank expression, that's because it is.
Okay.
Does
So
T stand for titanium?
No.
Okay.
So the Titleist equivalent of what you've got in the bag.
Yeah.
So they're like an aspirational club that would fit anyone from like a 20 handicap down to a 5 or lower. Jordan Spieth won all of his majors with AP2s, kept them in the bag after they were discontinued and demanded that Titleist make a T100 that looks like his old AP2s. They're like just brilliant, absolutely brilliant, and you can get them for like £300.
Are they forged or cast?
Forged.
Right.
So like shiny, just really good.
And they're like a sort of players
Like a player's
game improvement.
Yeah, it's sort of like they were before the player's distance. It was like player's distance shape before player's distance. They're not a hollow head. They're like yours. They're like a sort of CB sort of style club. They've got some added weight at the back, at the bottom to have you launch it a bit higher. And they're generally what people would play in the tour players might use in the 654.
Right.
If they were using like a CB or a blade.
And they're a peak Spieth iron.
This is peak Spieth. So this is like 2015,
right.
2014, 2016.
Yeah.
So
10 years old, and you can now get a full set for a couple of £100.
4 to pitching wedge for about £300.
And actually, the current Titleist iron will probably cost you that per club, basically.
The T100s have been nearly £200 a club, I would have thought.
Yeah, it's pretty amazing that.
Yeah, I think iron technology certainly in like a. I think the players' distance clubs are different, and the game improvement clubs are different. I think technology in those has come on loads.
Yeah,
but I think in the smaller headed clubs, you can't. There's only so much discretionary weight you can move around the head, right? Because there's not a lot of metal to the head.
Yeah.
So I think you can go quite a long way back and still get great performance. The lofts might be a bit weaker, but you're pretty much getting the same clubs.
Yeah. I think that your answers to these questions are probably more useful buying advice, whereas mine's just sort of a long trip down memory lane.
Yeah.
I think I'm on a different podcast, actually.
You have some quite emotional answers, which is nice.
Well, it's going to get worse, I can tell you that. Right, I've got 3 here on irons. Are you ready?
Please.
100% categorically the coolest set of irons of all time. What's the answer?
You're going to say Mizuno, whatever it was last week.
I'm not.
Don't know.
No, the coolest set of irons of all time. The most ITK, this guy knows what he's on about when it comes to golf. Like it's sort of, you're down the rabbit hole of nerdy gear before rabbit holes of nerdy gear were even invented.
Don't know.
Ping,
I2s.
Copper Berylliums.
I actually teach a guy who won the British Boys in like the 50s.
Yeah.
Who still uses them.
What, coppers?
Yep.
Yeah.
And he'd be in his 80s, never changed his irons, and there are no grooves in the sweet spot of those clubs because he's just worn them away.
Well, I've got something to say about that in a minute. So I think like the Ping I2 Copper Berylliums, and actually you could get Ping Zing in Copper Berylliums as well. The guy I play golf with on Sunday has got a set they bought off eBay.
Right.
But they were like the sort of pencil bag. It was like the sort of woke statement thing of the day. Like I don't think there are any sort of discernible performance benefits from Copper Beryllium. I think they sort of said it was supposed to be softer.
Softer, yeah.
And I think the material was quite dense, so it means they can fiddle about with the weight a bit different.
Yeah.
But basically, it's the same as the sort of cast steel head, but it's just brown. And that's amazing, isn't it?
Yeah. What year did they come out?
Oh, don't ask me that. They would have been like early 90s, I would have thought. Do you know why they had to discontinue them? Toxic.
Really?
Yeah.
Gosh.
Health and safety.
How's this guy survived?
I know, yeah. So it's basically, when was health and safety invented? That would have been about 1996, wouldn't it?
Yeah, late 90s.
Like you probably should stop going to nightclubs and taking those. It's not good for you. Around that sort of era.
Yeah. The noughties.
Yeah. No, way before then. Right, now we get into sort of QI alarm bell.
Go on.
Coolest iron of all time that's not a Ping Copper Beryllium is
Mizuno.
Yeah.
Those blades you were on about.
Mizuno TP19s.
Yeah, but not. Imagine if someone actually buys these clubs that you've recommended. They just like either should be off scratch or they like won't be able to play.
No, but they would be like supercharged by how cool they were. So Mizuno they are the godfathers of the forged head, aren't they?
Yep.
And like many have tried to imitate, but nothing feels like a Mizuno is the sort of strapline for a reason. I would argue
they still use copper.
I think they should change it to be nothing looks like a Mizuno, because let's face it, nothing feels like a Mizuno when you hit it out the toe in the middle of winter.
Yeah.
And you never want to play golf again.
Yeah.
But TP9s was the sort of like, they were the kind of, I think they're the sort of go-to answer for this, but I've gone for TP19s. And we are talking about sort of incremental differences in sort of head shape, and the thing's basically the same, right?
Yeah.
But it's just, I had a set of TP19s, and they were the clubs that Faldo used to win the Masters in 1996 when he overhauled Norman.
Great.
Yeah. Which will be the 30-year anniversary of next year, which is pretty frightening. And just, yeah, just kind of like a proper golf club.
Yeah.
That if you, I mean, obviously researched this and been sort of looking at pictures of it on the internet, and you're like, that's what a golf club should look like. What on earth has happened here? They're honestly amazing. I would say that to your point, like, what would it be like for people using an old club?
Yeah.
Like the lofts is like the big thing. Isn't it?
Yeah. So 7-iron loft. I was looking at the brochure of a club that's coming out next year, and the 7-iron loft is 28 degrees.
Yeah.
Where I had a set of MP32s, which were given to me by, like all the best players at the club played Mizunos, and if you were an up-and-coming junior, they would like, here you go, son,
Of course they did.
have a crack with these.
Yeah.
And that ruined my life for about 6 months. But the loft on that 7-iron was 35.
35?
Yeah.
What is it now? About 27?
28, yeah. 28 on these clubs that I was looking at that are coming out next year.
Oh, we can't get into loft jacket.
No, we
though.
can't, but that's a lot, isn't it? 7 degrees.
It is ridiculous, yeah. But I mean, it was helping you launch it, in fairness.
I needed it.
Could do with a bit of that, yeah. The other thing I think you have to watch out if you are going to go and buy old forged heads is that the grooves will have worn out.
Yes.
So it might be difficult to get the ball in the air, and you'll probably get loads of flyers.
Might get some flyers.
Because it's not going to spin, is it?
You've got to check the pictures before you buy.
Or you get the grooves like blasted, can't you?
I'm not sure that's legal. Don't think that's legal.
What?
Don't think you can do that.
Why wouldn't you be able to do that?
I know people who
Refurbed?
I'm just not convinced that that's. I can't be. Can anyone be certain that you've sort of like got your grooves back to a?
There's loads of things that are illegal, like theft, but I don't think having your clubs re-energized is illegal.
Someone turned up the other day with a wedge that, I kid you not, had like they weren't grooves, they were like trenches, and they were special. It was a special brand. I never heard of it. And he said, "What do you think of these?" I said, "Well, they're definitely not legal." He said, "No, they're not." And I said, "Well, do you use them?" He goes, "Every week."
Oh no!
He says you should see the ball come back out of bunkers. It's class. I said, "Yeah, but that's not." Right.
Justin Rose says that no equipment regulations have ever made any difference, and the example he used was square grooves.
Really?
So what was the point in banning that? Made no difference.
Well, someone I've heard recently has said something like every time they ban the box groove, but the grooves now spin more than a brand new box groove.
Yeah, I think that's the point he's making.
So like the manufacturers are so clever, they just work around and still can advance you beyond where you were before.
Yeah. If I'm slightly distracted, by the way, it's because I'm trying to watch what McIlroy's doing. I think he's making a bit of a pig's ear of it now for a fast start. I've got one other iron option.
Go on. Which one are you selling? Is this one that you might actually give to someone?
No, because it is nearly 30 years old.
Perfect.
So I had a set of these as well. I had a set of these. I had a set of these when I was working in golf at this driving range in Bradford, which was honestly, it's got a lot to answer for in my life, that job, because I think it was the best year of my life where we just dicked about in Leeds and played golf.
Yeah.
And not a lot's changed.
No, you still do a bit of that.
Not a lot's changed. I did go and have a look to see what other sorts of lives were available, and then sort of decided that actually dicking about in Leeds and playing golf all the time was probably not bad. Anyway, so Callaway.
Yeah.
Bum, bum, bum. This is not going to mean nothing to you, is it?
Nothing.
So this is quite strange, isn't it? Because all my clubs mean nothing to you, and the stuff you're saying, a bit like, I don't know what you're talking about. X12s. No.
Are they blades?
No, they're not. They're cavities. They're like a very serious cavity. They are.
I thought you were a good player in the 90s.
They're very sort of low profile head.
Okay.
Yeah, but we've all done this. This is the oscillation that you go through, don't they? You think, right, I'm going to get some blades because I'm a player and they look cool in my bag, and I've done that twice at least in the last 10 years.
I'm still on that.
Right. But then you also think, actually, no, I'm not going to do that because I want all the assistance everyone else. I had a set of coverts.
I was about to bring up those Nike irons you had that were just amazing.
Yeah.
I thought you might have actually recommended those.
I actually forgot about them. I should probably put them on my list.
They looked okay.
Yeah.
But they were enormously forgiving. And they had a really deep cavity at the back, didn't they? And they were so easy to use.
They're quite easy to fat.
I thought you were going to suggest those.
Should have done that, shouldn't I?
Yeah.
Anyway, Callaway X12s, where I think we're sort of, I think that they kind of moved on. Like the cavity backed iron thing is like a kind of Ping would sort of claim ownership of that, wouldn't they?
Yep.
But I think Callaway sort of took it and put a Callaway spin on it, and I think created something that was kind of unique to them. The heads were sort of very low profile.
Yeah.
So they kind of felt like they were kind of long from neck to toe, if that makes sense.
Okay.
And even though they had a cavity, they're quite a thin sole. So they were sort of, their turf interaction, I think, was better on them.
Yeah.
And they did come out with a sort of advancement on them, which was the X14s, which I think probably people might have said was a better iron. But the X12s was like a kind of a bit of a game changer for them. Annika Sorensson won basically all of her majors using them.
Right.
But that was before people sort of acknowledged women's golf as a thing, so probably no one would know that. But they were a proper golf club. And I had a lot of fondness for them. I can sort of remember, because we worked in golf, you had lots of new stuff you could try all the time, but always went back to them. They were in my bag for an awfully long time. So I think that would be my shortlist. I can't remember what I plumped for as a winner here. I've plumped for Ping I2 Copper Berylliums, just on the cool factor.
On the cool factor.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Right, next. Putters. Surely putters.
We could do putters, yeah. So we're definitely going to have different answers to this because we've just approached this so differently. So so I've chosen a Scotty Cameron.
Right. What, just generic Scotty Cameron?
I've chosen a very specific Scotty Cameron that I found on the Golf Clubs for Cash website.
Right.
So how many Scotty Camerons do you think Golf Clubs for Cash have?
978.
1,300.
Right.
1,300, which vary from like 60 quid to like £3,000. And I have chosen a Scotty Cameron Phantom, which is by far the cheapest Phantom. You won't know what that is, but it's a fang, a bit like the Odyssey number 7 style shape.
Is it a mallet or a blade?
It's a mallet.
Yeah.
Because I think you need the forgiveness from a mallet. Certainly most people I know or teach would benefit from using a mallet. And people like to have a Scotty in the bag. So it took me ages to find this one very specific, good value, 130 quid, but relatively new, good tech, nice head shape.
Good tech. It's a putter. Come on.
Loads of, Phantoms are like, so Scotty have like 2 lines of putters. They have like the Newport blade things, the studio style, and then they have the Phantom range, which is their like high tech, where they have all the movable weight and stuff like that. So it's one of those.
Right.
So yeah.
So you're not going for 2 balls?
I thought about 2 ball. I thought about a ping answer because I think probably that's what I would go back to use. The 2 balls are also like revolutionary tech sort of thing. But I thought if I could find the best value Scotty, people would like that. Easy to sell.
Yeah. So I have to sort of mention my current putter because I don't want to fall out with it. I love my current putter. We're getting on really well. So that's definitely a thing. And I also have got a lot of fondness for my old Scotty. I think it was a Rossi. Is that a thing?
No.
What is it then?
It's a
Newport.
It's a studio.
Yeah.
But it's like a mallet head.
Yeah.
It's like a mid mallet. They would call that now.
It's beautiful, little compact
it's
kind of
old. It's been kicked.
Yeah.
Dented.
It's got about 8 degrees of loft.
Bent.
It's missing one of the red spots out the back.
The paint's gone. It's been through you, good times and bad.
Yeah, but it's gone now. I think it's finished with. Right. Okay. So let's get on to my shortlist. So I can offer you the Wilson TPA XVIII,
Is that the Faldo putter?
which I think stands for 18. Yeah, it's the Faldo putter.
So I've got one of those.
Have you?
Yeah.
I very nearly. I thought, fucking, I'm getting one of them when I was doing this.
I've got one of those.
And I went on eBay and I found one, and there's one in some dude's got one in Newcastle, but it's collection only.
That's crazy.
And he wrote to put it in a box and I'll buy it.
Yeah,
Can I have it? Can I borrow it?
It's like a collector's item.
They're like 30 quid.
Yeah, but it's cool to have.
So
I could also have a bullseye on that list. Sorry, I've got one of those.
Well,
as well.
I mean, it's like you're right in on my anecdote. So I used to play golf when I grew up. I grew up at a golf club called Louth in Lincolnshire, which is right next door to my school. And they've currently rerouted the golf course now, but we used to have a loop of 8 holes and a loop of 10 holes in sort of lopsided kind of fashion. And my best mate at the time, still one of my best mates, is a lad called Paul Spence, who's a PGA pro at a golf course in Lincolnshire called Kenwick Park. He's been there since he left school, and he would now be he just turned 50.
Wow.
So amazing golfer in his youth. Injured his back really badly in his late 20s and doesn't really play anymore. But like phenomenal golfer when we were kids. Was like off +1 or something in 1993 when handicaps were proper and irons were bladed and stuff. So me and him used to play relentless loops of 8 holes around Louth, like all of the time instead of going to school. I never beat him. Must have played him, I don't know, 200 times. Never beat him.
Really?
I keep thinking I'll go back and do it now. Now he can't really walk and he's sort of crippled, and see if I can beat him now. And then I think that's fine. Put that one to bed. Anyway, he was a phenomenally straight driver of the golf ball, but he had a tightest driver.
Did he?
Yeah, of course he did. And he had a cut down Wilson TPA XVIII, the Faldo putter. And he just never missed with it. I've never seen anything like it. He used to sort of top spin, like almost like a Jack Nicklaus sort of stance, and then like high left elbow, sort of like this. It's so irritating.
How many times did you try to copy that?
All the time. It's honestly amazing. And then Faldo used one, didn't he, to win the Masters in '89 and '90, and the Open in '90.
Yeah.
Right. And here's a little thing for you that I found out when I was reading about this. Faldo swapped putters halfway through the '89 Masters to that TPA because it hadn't gone well in the first couple of rounds. And what was he using for the first 2 rounds? A bullseye.
Oh, really?
So this is like
cutting edge.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So he'd gone from like a bullseye, which was like just what putters look like, a crazy golf putter, basically.
Yeah.
To something that was like pretty funky. And in fairness, a Wilson TPA looks a lot like my Odyssey, doesn't it?
Correct.
Doesn't it?
You're
Compact
Scotty.
mallet, yeah.
You're Scotty.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You said Odyssey. Yeah.
It's because I'm going a bit senile. So I reckon this is like a sliding doors moment for me in my entire existence as a human. So I had a Ping Zing 2 putter.
Yeah.
Silver head.
Silver?
Yeah. Well, like steel head.
Yeah.
Like classic sort of angular ping design.
Yeah.
Basically like a prototype for loads of putters that have been made since then.
Mm-hmm.
Beautiful sort of white lettering on the heel and the toe.
Yeah.
Like lovely. The heel and toe weighting was so obvious that sort of that kind of helped the marketing story, obviously, but it also helped your confidence as a golfer because you kind of had the bladey bit in the middle, but then you could sort of see there were big lumps at either end, like stabilizers on a bike or something. And I had one that was 33 and a half inches, like slightly cut down.
Okay.
And I was the fucking bollocks at putting, like just so good. I was shit at golf, but I was really good at putting.
What year was this?
Like 98, 97, 98.
You weren't good during that phase.
Yeah, well, but I was good at putting. As I'm saying, I was shit at golf, but I was amazing at putting.
Right, okay.
I worked at this driving range in Bradford. There's this legendary teaching pro called Ian Bottomley, brother of Steve Bottomley, who famously finished 3rd in the Open.
Yeah.
Ian Bottomley is like the honey monster. He used to wear this big yellow waterproof jacket to coach in and like to drink. Anyway, he used to bang on about my putting and how annoying it was all the time. That was such a great place to be in, like an irritatingly good putter. Imagine being an irritatingly good putter. Anyway, then Justine, my now wife, had gone off to university and we were back for the same summer and I needed some money to take her to Alton Towers for the day. So I sold my fucking to take her to Alton Towers on the National Express coach and buy the ticket to get into Alton Towers. She's not my wife. I'm now shit at putting. And what I'm saying is...
Don't give it up.
Yeah.
For women.
Hang on to your putter. Or don't hang on to your putter.
I can't believe you sold your putter to go to Alton Towers.
I know.
That is shocking behaviour.
I could just buy another one, but it wouldn't be the same, would it?
No, it wouldn't feel the same.
It wouldn't be the same. Anyway, that didn't make my shortlist because I thought I can't go back there. So the Wilson TPA XV111, which I think is 18.
Yeah, we'll just call it 18.
Yeah. It's the one that I chose.
Fair enough.
And I have to admit to the listeners of this podcast, I should sort of run out a bit of energy now for this task.
Yeah.
So I messaged you at this stage and said, are we doing wedges and stuff?
So I did fairway woods and wedges.
Right, I've got some quite good stuff to say about fairway woods, actually.
Which is your favourite? Let's just start with, like, your favourite fairway wood of all time.
Well, fairway woods are interesting, aren't they, right?
Very interesting.
So
very hard.
The answer to the question, if someone came to you and said, what shall I spend my money on a second-hand fairway wood? The answer is...
TaylorMade M3.
Well, that's not the answer, is it?
Yeah, it is.
Okay, right.
I think so. That's what I would say.
Go on then.
So the fairway woods that Tiger won the Masters with in 2019. Loads of adjustable weight.
That's not the past, though.
Yeah,
Can you stop picking things that are from now?
That is the past. That was ages ago. Like, Vod wasn't even playing golf at that point.
Still at uni. Okay.
Great, amazing value. They're so cheap and so good. TaylorMade have had the best fairway woods for ages and ages and ages.
They do make really good fairway woods.
So I think you can basically just look back at any of the old TaylorMade fairway woods and go, yeah, that would work.
They make really good fairway woods if you want something to go forwards.
Yeah, but they also have like the high launch. So you can get like a 3-wood high launch, which is like, well, it's like 4-wood basically.
Yeah.
And they go up and far.
Yeah.
You once had a fairway wood, didn't you? I can't remember what it was at Woodley. It was like 13 degrees. It was a period where you couldn't hit your driver. But this 13-degree fairway wood went forever.
Yeah. Well, it was a Stealth 2.
Was it?
Yeah. Yeah, that was
That
good.
wasn't that long
But
ago,
that's
was
kind of
it?
what I mean. That was about 2 years ago. Last year.
Oh, no, it was way before then.
That's what I mean about TaylorMade fairway woods going forwards. And I think there's like the fairway wood as a category is like quite an interesting thing, isn't it? Because it's quite difficult to say this is what you should go and get because it depends what you want. Like, do you want something to go fast and forwards, or do you want things to go up your nose?
Yeah.
And also, like, I think there's quite a good fitting story around fairway woods where it's sort of on vogue to put like 3-wood shafts in 5-wood heads or vice versa to get sort of different performance characteristics out of them. Yeah. Dan's like written about the Thriver thing that he uses, which is like just the most pathetic thing I've ever read in my life.
A 12-degree driver head with a 3-wood length shaft.
We should definitely do a podcast on not cool things to do with equipment, and that is like number one thing in it. He was going, "Oh, it's really good because people think I'm hitting driver and I'm not." So that's pathetic.
When I went to Ping last year, every single one of their engineers had this club in the bag.
What, Thriver?
A Thriver, every single one of them. Because
I take all that back, sorry.
Every single one of them, because basically if you can drive the ball 300 yards, you're never going to hit a 3-wood. So what you need is a second tee shot club that just goes a little bit shorter and straighter.
Yeah, I understand the theory.
Yeah.
But can't freaking 2-iron.
Well, in Arizona, they don't use 2 irons.
They shouldn't be playing golf in Arizona.
To be honest, and I would have said that I think basically they want a mini driver without having to admit they don't have a mini driver.
Yeah, so they call it a Thriver.
So they call it, I think they're just missing a club out of their lineup. I think they should just have a mini driver.
Right. My fairway woods options are, you ready?
Please.
So I've kind of put in 2 clubs that are sort of the same thing. So I've put in Adams Speedline.
Nice.
But I've also put in TaylorMade Rocket Balls.
Yeah.
And they're sort of the same club.
Basically the same, yeah.
So TaylorMade...
Adams fairway woods, by the way.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
So it's sort of an interesting thing.
TaylorMade bought Adams, didn't they?
Right. There you go.
Isn't that why so Adams had the best fairway woods, TaylorMade then bought them. It's like the whole Wilson putter thing. They bought the tech and now they have the best fairway woods.
Yeah. It's in reverse, yeah. But it is quite an interesting thing about how much the equipment market has sort of consolidated over the years. So when asked to do this task by you and trying to think about the fairway wood category, my brain automatically started thinking about specialist fairway wood makers through the years, right?
Did you think Sonatec?
Exactly. So I've got Adams, I've got Olimar, and I've got Sonatec were sort of on my list.
Yeah.
And it is weird how over the basically my entire life as an adult, the market sort of consolidated slowly, and all of these companies have either fallen by the wayside or they've been bought up by bigger manufacturers. Mm-hmm. And now you are seeing a little bit of a reversal of that trend with a bit of D2C coming back in.
Yeah.
So maybe there will be there are some sort of cool and niche options that you can kind of involve yourself with. But I thought that kind of Adams Speedline, TaylorMade Rocket Balls thing was sort of interesting to raise. And Adams, what I think was quite a cool brand, and the idea that you were buying something that was so specialist because they really did focus in on that part of the market.
Yeah.
And again, loads of that tech sort of exists now in TaylorMade products. So Adams invented the Speedline, which is sort of still a thing, isn't it?
Yeah.
And that Rocket Balls, I kind of think that almost is the answer to the question, because
I thought that as well.
They were sort of saying these are 17 yards longer.
17, yeah, that was the theory, yeah.
And they actually were. And I can remember being on like the 8th or Woodley, maybe with Will, and just watching him hit it and just thinking, what
How's he done that?
Like a gun's just gone off.
Yeah.
It was like a really
Yeah,
kind of,
I actually remember that. I remember that club. It was the Tour model.
was it?
Yeah.
Have a white head or not?
And it had a white head.
Yeah,
It was like one of the first. I think it might have been maybe their first white-headed club because it was so good that they needed everyone to know that you were using the TaylorMade. And it was in the bag of so many non-TaylorMade players because there was just this club that just went 17 yards further than any other fairway would.
So at that point, everyone was like, "Oh my God, fairway! This is a 3-wood, and he's hitting it this far, and that's just as far as his driver." And everyone's getting very excited by it, weren't they? So I think that was a sort of kind of
moment,
category killer, basically.
Yeah,
it was just like that kind of changed the way that fairway woods were viewed, and I think we've gone the other side of that hump now. And people are actually, my 3-wood's gone too far.
Definitely. Well, I think it was definitely a period where drivers weren't going that far.
Yeah.
And technology in the fairway woods was sort of like the rules were slightly different. So like the faces were just way hotter on fairway woods than they were on drivers. So I know quite a few people just stopped using a driver because this weird rocket ball thing would go further than the driver.
Yeah. So and I kind of two things in one there, I think, because you have to say about Adams because that basically became the rocket balls. This was happening, I think, 2012 or thereabouts, something like that. Yeah. From the same era is Ping Answer.
That was what you had.
That is what I had, yeah.
That's what the club I was talking about.
Yeah, that is what I had, yeah.
The black-headed Ping Answer.
Yeah.
3-wood, yeah, that's right.
So these were kind of like, I think, quietly so I think the answer to the question, which is what I was saying at the start of this segment, if someone said to you, what should I spend my £100 on a second-hand fairway wood, I'd just say go and get a Ping.
Yeah.
Because they're just so easy to use.
Massively easy to use.
Often low profile, pretty workable, going to pop the ball up, blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
Ping, I think it's one of Ping's strongest categories, actually, consistently strongest categories.
Yeah.
But that answer was kind of a bit of a kind of anti-Ping almost, like its characteristics were slightly different from what you'd find in a normal Ping wood.
So the answer line, because there was a driver as well, was very much aimed at like the better player, which they haven't really done since. Or maybe they have, they've just blended it into the range because it was like a low spin.
It's LST now.
Yeah, it's the LST. Yeah. I had the driver.
Yeah.
So yeah, no, you're right.
It never went left.
No, I think they were very open.
Yeah.
At address.
But it's a big thing for a fairway wood because you couldn't hook it.
Yeah.
And it like massively workable and pretty low spin for a Ping, right? It's like a very tall player sort of profile thing. So I think that was a really good product. And then just got to mention the sort of Olimars and Sonatecs of this world.
I still have a Sonatec 3-wood.
Yeah.
And again, the same good player at that club who gave me the MP32s had a Sonatec, and I got one for my birthday or something like that because he had one. Again, couldn't use it, but it looked cool in the bag.
And an Olimar basically won the Open at Troon with Garrett. Oh my God, now I can't remember his name.
Come on.
Ben Curtis won at Royal St George's, and the following year, Todd Hamilton won at Troon basically because of his Olimar 3-wood. So I think you do get these clubs, I think, from time to time where you think, well, that's actually made a difference for that guy, and that was one of them. So I kind of, when I was kind of thinking, oh my God, now I've got to do fairways, I did sort of warm to my task because I think it's a sort of overlooked category.
Yeah.
And if you can get one that works for you off the deck and through the air, go for it. So Ping Answer was my answer to the question.
Cool.
Which just leaves
wedges,
which frankly I've got a very straight up answer for this.
You're going to say the Ping I2?
No, I've got two.
Go on.
I've got Cleveland RTX.
Yeah.
So I've specifically gone for 3 because I think they're my favourite wedges of all time. That RTX franchise at Cleveland has basically been going forever.
Yeah.
I don't know what we're on now, like 6 or something. And they use this sort of RTX technology in all of their wedges, basically. So it's got that brilliant V-sole, which is amazing sort of turf interaction. Like, I think that the kind of bounce thing, the bounce story in wedges is obviously a huge thing.
Yeah.
I think the way Cleveland do it and the kind of width of sole and the bounce options they have is exactly what you're after. And that RTX face, which I just think it's, and the head shapes, everything about them, I think they are the kind of leaders in that category. And those TaylorMade wedges that I've got, which I absolutely
NG4s,
love.
Yeah.
I think they're a very Cleveland style wedge. So I think they've got to be in the conversation. And the other wedges I've really liked over the last 20 or so years is Ping Glides, which is sort of discontinued franchise. But I think that was almost like a category in itself because they were cavities, but they were unbelievably compact head.
Yeah.
Loads of help in them. Again, like lots of sort of really good shot making, turf interaction capability, but they had that kind of help for off centre hits. So I think in many ways that Glide was probably the best non-blade wedge that I can think of.
Yeah, fair enough. No, they were good. They went on quite a while, didn't they? Glide 4.
They've only just gone.
They've only just gone.
Yeah.
But the S159s are like very similar. So the theme of the Glide lives on.
Yeah,
definitely. I'm surprised you didn't go for the old Ping that they sort of have remade in the Bunker.
Yeah.
I don't know, have you ever hit that? Which is an interesting club, to be fair. I went for the Callaway. So I've just sort of done my... It's tough on this, isn't it? Because really what you could say is just go look at any Vokey. And you could get a set of... the Vokeys on Golf Clubs of Cash vary from like 40 quid to 80 quid, depending on how new you buy them. The technology in there, they're the most popular wedge, aren't they, right? So, like, it's hard to sort of say anything other than that. But I chose the Callaway Mac Daddy 4 wedges.
Nice, yeah.
Yeah, I thought they were, again, a brilliant-looking bladed wedge with a bit of discretionary weight to help keep the forgiveness there. And you can get them for like 60 quid per wedge, which I think is just crackers value.
Yeah. Although you're always telling people they should change their wedges about every 5 minutes.
Well, it depends what you turn up with. I think people turn up to lessons with like 20-year-old wedges that have been dug out of like their granddad's garage.
Yeah.
From a brand that I've never heard of. So like upgrading to some Mac Daddy 4s is like a huge upgrade.
Yeah. Did you choose like a utility club? Like a driving iron or whatever, yeah.
Picked a hybrid.
Did you?
I have picked a hybrid, yeah.
So this is sort of a kind of like just finish your bag off sort of category.
Yeah.
Because I went more kind of down the driving iron route.
Yeah, fair enough.
How can you choose a hybrid?
Because most people can't use driving irons.
Hybrids, I don't think hybrids should exist.
Hybrids.
Awful bloody things. My kids have got hybrids in their
You're
sets.
a left hitter and hybrids go left. So
I haven't had it left for 6 months. I haven't had a drink for 18 months. I haven't had it left for 6 months.
My memory of your golf, having not played any golf with you this year.
Well, okay, exactly. So don't judge me.
Is like left.
Right.
So strong grip, isn't it?
Stop saying left and stop saying my grip's strong.
So I think hybrids are like game changers for people who can't hit long irons.
Right.
So like Y.E. Yang won that major, didn't he, with like 6 hybrids?
Why have you just plucked out an example from like literally 25 years ago?
2009 that was. I watched it.
Right.
So the hybrid I've picked as the most useful hybrid is the original TaylorMade Rescue Club.
Okay.
Which you can buy for a whopping £30 from Golf Clubs of Cash. You can get it in a steel shaft or graphite, so that's a big thing. And I think hybrids basically started there and have never really changed.
Right.
Obviously, it's not adjustable, but it sits great, it goes well, and just really easy to use.
What's it called?
The TaylorMade Rescue.
That's it.
That's it.
Right. So I've gone for a driving iron.
Yeah.
Considered things like Mizuno Fly High.
Lovely.
Didn't go for that.
Really? I thought that would have been a good bet.
I had one of those in kind of when in my early 30s. Quite liked it.
Yeah.
But I can still sort of feel the toe strikes. So I've gone for something slightly different. I've gone for the TaylorMade P790 UDI.
Is that what you've got in the bag?
No. Have I got that in the bag? Yeah, maybe I have. Yeah, I've got like the current one, yeah. And I've had 2 or 3 of them.
Okay.
But this is the original one. And I think it kind of, again, it was a sort of category inventor almost, because it was like a full-on, it's an iron head, right? But it was like just something you could absolutely knuckle. What's the
A
matter?
category inventor?
Yeah.
Really?
Why do you think it's not a category?
Do you not think like the Mizuno Fly High was the category?
No, because that looked, no, that looked way more like an iron. Way more like an iron. Whereas that UDI, I think, kind of looks, the first one kind of looks kind of chunky behind the ball.
Right.
It's definitely my favourite driving iron that I've ever used.
Yeah.
Because I think it comes out hot and flat, but I don't feel like you get that kind of horrible sort of fear of minging toe strikes.
Do you have a graphite shaft in it?
Yeah.
Nice.
Right.
Fair enough.
That concludes our business.
Yeah. How much was your bag?
Well, I'm just going to read out my bag now, actually. So, I think McElroy's 4 under, by the way, whilst making an absolute horlicks of it. Incredible individual. Right, so I didn't actually go for the driver that I said I went for. I did actually go for the TaylorMade M2 driver, which is available for about £100.
An M2's worth you can get for £100.
Yeah, the range that I've been given is sort of 90 to 180.
Okay.
A Ping Answer fairway wood.
Yeah.
Somewhere just over £100.
Yeah.
TaylorMade P7090 UDI driving iron.
Yeah.
£100.
Yeah. It's quite expensive relative to the driver.
Ping i2 copper beryllium irons, sort of £250.
Really? Do you not think do you think they've become like cool antiques? They're actually getting more expensive.
Asterisk, you might die from the toxicity. Cleveland RTX3 wedges, 40-50 quid each.
Yeah.
Wilson TPA XV 111, probably 18 putter.
30 quid.
30 quid, yeah.
Bargain.
So you're talking about sort of 650, 600, depending on how well you can negotiate. I mean, it's a bit like that. What's that program on TV where they go to auctions and they see if they can make more money than they spent?
Antique Roadshow.
Bargain hunt.
Bargain hunt. I don't know.
My mate went on that one and bought a parachute. Anyway.
Did he resell it?
No. He's actually very good mates with Paul Spence, who had the Wilson TPA putter, just to square that circle.
Perfect. Fair enough. That's really good value, isn't it?
Right. And yours?
So mine totaled at about £950
Right.
for my Ping G410, my TaylorMade fairway, my Rescue hybrid thing, AP2 irons, Mac Daddy wedges, and Scotty Cameron putter.
It's good. I think. Do you think the reason we chose totally different clubs is because we're sort of from different eras?
Enormously, yeah, 100%. Definitely, probably, maybe not enough clarity on the topic, and you've had an enormous, enjoyable time down memory lane, and I've just tried to be like useful with my advice.
Yeah, fair enough. So if you've got £1,000 to spend on golf equipment, take Jack's advice and just read about mine on the internet, but don't actually buy any of that. Really old.
Yeah.
Right, thank you for listening. Please do give us apparently you can watch this on YouTube. So if you're listening to it on your podcast and you want to kind of like see some of the equipment that we talked about at the start, do go and watch it on YouTube. Please can you subscribe somewhere?
Yes.
Because it makes a massive difference. So on Apple or Android or YouTube or whatever, just subscribe.